We are living for the one. We are living for the one. We are living for the one true Lord. We are living for the one. We are living for the one. We are living for the one true Lord.
So you're thinking of putting together the program for a weekend. The important thing to remember is that you are going to help develop or provide the framework for wonderful things to happen. The first of those wonderful things is the emergence of Christian fellowship and community. But in order to do that, you've got to be conscious of what you're doing and understand why you're doing what you're doing. The first thing that you have to think about is the people, the candidates, those who are coming to you in trust, and you've got to care for and look after. And most often, Cursillo communities are wonderful at doing this, except that in the programming you forget. Everybody needs 8 hours sleep, 8 hours of time when they can be by themselves with the objective of resting, sleeping. The second 8 hours needs to be allotted for meals, talking, chatting together, and processing all the things that they are experiencing and hearing. We hope that any one and every one of those candidates is going through change events. They're looking at their lives, they're thinking about their lives. What we are seeing is impacting their lives. They need time by themselves or with others in an informal atmosphere to process that. That's very, very important. And then we've got 8 hours for the program. All that we do, all the programming events, everything needs to fit into that 8 hours. And well, we've got 15 talks. We've got 5 meditations. We've got the Eucharist every day. That is the basic material in every Cursillo. All the rest is extraneous. Even Magnanitas, which is such a wonderful thing. The agape is another. But all of these evolve and develop and create all kinds of traditions around them that are not necessarily part of the Cursillo experience. Although every one of us remembers our own Cursillo and remember those wonderful events, and we so dearly want somebody else to have the same experience, and we want to fill the next Cursillo with all those potentially wonderful events. There's too much. You can't put all of that in 8 hours. And that's why I say you've got to allot time to those other things, which if in your enthusiasm you encroach on, you then lay yourselves open to the criticism of brainwashing, manipulation, pressuring, all of those things. We can't do that. We cannot do that. We may not do that because we're there to care for those candidates. They are trusting themselves to us, therefore we must not do that. Now, how does this accretion work? Let me give you an example. The agape, which was, in my Cursillo, one of the most wonderful things, was delightful, surprise. But one of the last Cursillos that I helped with, what I experienced was something which was very different. When I walked in, there was this monstrous white cross, and the whole thing looked like a mausoleum. We were given some bread and some cheese to eat, and we were given some cider or apple juice, and we were expected to gawp at the white cross on the white table. But otherwise, what were we to do? Somebody told us what an agape was. It had become another piece of the program, another learning event. Well, the reason for an agape on a Saturday night is not as a learning event. It is to help people blow off steam, help people relax in an environment that has potentially great tension in it for people. There needs to be music. There needs to be opportunity to feed each other. So some nice food. The Cursillo movement is great at producing food. A little wine. There's no reason why wine should not be available. For dancing. And time for people to mingle. All around a warm display of that wonderful cross that we use for this event. This demonstrates how any program needs to fit with the progressive needs of the candidates who have come to us. Okay? You have to think of why you're doing what you're doing. And so throughout the planning for any weekend, constantly you need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You need to think of making sure that every candidate has rest, nourishment, and time to process it. Only then do you take that 8 hours of programming and make it effective. Make it an effective vehicle for expressing those wonderful truths of Christianity.
We are living for the one. We are living for the one true Lord. We are living for the one. We are living for the one. We are living for the one true Lord. We are